Hello and welcome to This Board Game Life. I'm your host, Mark, and today I'm unboxing Power Grid Outpost from Rio Grande Games. In Power Grid Outpost, the colonization of the new planet advances quickly. There's a huge demand for electricity that your companies gladly fulfill. Can you purchase the best power plants, the biggest shelters, and best technologies? Can you spread your network faster from city to city than your competition? Do you expand your company economically to accommodate workers permanently so that you can avoid employing expensive seasonal workers that you must dismiss to the labor market after each assignment? Only then can you win Power Grid Outpost. Outpost was one of the major inspirations for Power Grid, as that game was far ahead of its time. More than 20 years after the first release of Power Grid, Friedemann wants to honor Outpost with this game. He took many thematic elements of that game and translated them to the Power Grid world. This game is designed by Friedemann Friese. The art is by Lars-Arne Maura Kaluski. It's published by Rio Grande Games. This was published in last year, 2024, for ages 14 and up, for 2 to 6 players, and takes about 90 minutes to play. Now, before we go to the table to show you this amazing game, I'm going to ask that you please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell icon. Very important so that you don't miss when we drop new content. And please feel free to comment into the videos. Let us know your thoughts and share this video. Someone you think might enjoy it. All right, let's get to the table. All right, I need to zoom out a little bit further. It's got the, if you're familiar with Friedemann Friese, he likes green. So this box is definitely green, like a lot of his. Now, I will say this. I have played Power Grid a couple of times. I had a friend of mine who really loves the game. And I have played it, I think about 3 times, played Power Grid. And it was not a favorite of mine. However, recently, another friend of mine had got this game. And I'm like, okay, more Power Grid. I like this game a lot. This one, and I don't know if it's because it was basically the 4th time that I've played Power Grid. So it's, a lot of times, most games, I think people need to play several times before it kind of really gets you. You really get it. You understand. And I think that, I don't know if that was the case with this one, or it's like it was my 4th time playing Power Grid, or was it just that Outpost spoke to me differently? Because it is similar, it is Power Grid, but I just kind of enjoyed this one so much more. And again, I don't know if it's this version, or if it's just that I've come to get and understand what I need to do in Power Grid, but I thoroughly enjoyed this game. So I'm going to lead with that. So we'll start with the rule book again. I don't know I don't even know why I should be even talking about rule books, because I pretty much say the same thing, all except for one, which if you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about there. Otherwise, I really haven't met a rule book that, especially on an unboxing, you haven't read it, so I can't say to how it is. Now, since I've played this once, I will say that the only issue that my group had, was on setting up the game. There was some confusion amongst setting up the way the cards, like how to set up the cards. I think that was what the issue was. They finally kind of figured it out, and I have heard on other reviews I've seen of this that the rule book does tend to be a little rough. It probably could use a little work, but it looks okay. It's showing examples of the various cards, but it is a rule book, so that's that. Now, one thing different in this game compared to the other Power Grid is each player is going to get a player board, and you're going to have this out in front of you. So there's, 6 colors here. So there's your various colors, if you're wondering. But every player will have a player mat in front of them that they will use. All right. And again, I will avoid, I got to remember, this is an unboxing, not a how to play. So I got to stick to the unboxing part. But here are some credits, your different credit tiles, which I like these better than the paper money that we used in Power Grid. I do like these; just worked better. And then these are, I'm trying to remember, they went on the cards, and I can't remember what they did, but you will put these into the card marketplace essentially. So a lot of credits, cardboard credits to punch. All right, let's get to. I'll pull the board out in a minute. Let me put some of those off to the side. More cardboard. So one thing too I like about this is over the traditional Power Grid is you see all these numbers here. You're going to punch these out. You're going to randomize them. And on the board, I'm not going to pull the whole board out, but between your little cities in Power Grid, there's a printed cost to make a connection. Now with Outpost, you're going to have these things. So you're gonna punch these out, and these are going to go in the game randomly. You're going to basically place them out in between the cities. So it, unlike Power Grid, where it's always the same, and you probably get used to always go in a certain pattern. I'm always going to start here because my connection costs are lower. This allows this map, this board, to be randomized. So the cheaper connection costs are always going to move around. And someplace you went last time that might have been cheap might be very expensive this time. So it helps to alleviate, I think, kind of like with Clank, where people, if they play it enough, they kind of develop a pattern and they're doing the same thing every time. This kind of makes that a little bit, puts a variety to the game so that you don't have that. And I really do like that mechanic. I thought that was really nice. So let's see. Well, there's some artwork on the back of the board. That looks nice. And I'll just show you the whole board here. So it is in different segments. Like if you can see, this is a light blue, darker blue, I think. Yeah, then there's even darker and then dark here. So if you depending on how many players you have in the game, you won't use some of these sections of the game board. So it depends on how many players that you have. So, but I really do like this. There's also differences with you can use, like, I think this was the power plants. These were your workers. There's different ways to power the cities, and I don't know, this game just, for me, flowed so much better. Like I've never had a desire to own Power Grid, and when I played this the one time, I'm like, okay, this is one I can get. This one I really thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm really happy this showed up today. I'm very excited to have this in my game, in my library. Okay, so here's all the little, still got a bunch of houses that you place out, and you've got your different, you pull out some of these little power plants and workers, and you got your little power plants, like a little nuke tower. There's still the little placement cubes for the board. You still have the auction hammer. That's still in there. And then we do have workers. So you've got, the gray ones are the robots. There's robots in the game. And I believe the white cubes are, I don't remember if they're the permanent or the temporary workers. So there are 50 workers, it says. 9 robots. And then power plants, shelters, technologies, houses. There's a houses of every player. There's power plants, shelters, 50 workers. I thought there was a different color worker for temporary and permanent, but I guess not. I think it's just you have to have the shelters for your workers. So trying to remember, but anyways, a lot of nice wooden components. No complaints. One thing too that I really like. So here's some of the cards. I will show you briefly here. This is the last thing to unbox. But one of the things I did like in this game was there are like technologies. So you've got, see if I can find them here somewhere. Did I pass over one? I think they're blue. Green. Am I looking at this backwards or wrong? Thought there was technology cards. So these are power plants, right? These are shelters. Oh, here's one. I'm like, so here's a technology card. They're blue. So during the auction, if you have this in front of you, then during an auction, you get to reduce the cost of whatever you pay for an item by 5. That gives you such a huge advantage over other people because no matter what the top price you're paying is going to be 5 less than what someone is trying to run you up on. So that's one example. Let's see if I can find. I know there's other technology cards in here. This one, I think your workers cost 3 less. But there's like a lot of different technology cards that this one I think just gives you +1 shelter or +1 shelter. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of I think unique things in this game that just I know I could have sworn there was more than just a couple. I swear there was more cards than that were just the 2. I only see 2 in here that are. There's one for that technology. I know there was other cards in here. Maybe. Okay, so there's 2 tech. Oh, here's the robot card. Okay, so this is also the tech. That's a robot. So I think it replaces a worker or something like that. But then you have your robots. Yeah, that gives you another shelter. I gotta look at the bottom. So, anyways, here's another one. You gain +1, I think, to your power or your whatever that. But it's really neat. Those really play kind of a neat part into the game. Give some new variety to it. So, but that's it. That's a look at what comes in Power Grid. Hope you enjoy Power Grid Outpost. Hope you enjoyed this. If so, please hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the alert icon so you know when we're dropping content. All right. Again, thank you. Appreciate it. Feel free to comment. We'll catch you at the table.